everybody! During Act 3 of Silksong, if we visit Fleetopia, the Festival of the Flea begins, an all-around beautiful and joyful event, in which we can participate in 3 minigames: Flea Juggle, Flea Dodge, and Flea Bounce. These are pretty fun, and not that difficult once you understand them. But I'm not making this video to appreciate the minigames. Oh no, I'm here to denounce criminals and seek justice. Because this video isn't an analysis, it's a rant. You see, to reach the end of the festival and get the prizes, you must beat the other fleas' high scores. And that's fair, it makes sense. But there's a bit of a problem, because some of the other fleas of the caravan are in these leaderboards, but simultaneously inject themselves into the minigames whenever you attempt them, making it harder for you and therefore protecting their scores. But can you trip them up whenever they try? Hell no! And because of that, we can only assume that the obstacle they pose for you, no one posed for them whenever they attempted the minigames, because they can't simultaneously participate in the minigame and be an obstacle. Let's go case by case, from the least egregious to the worst one by far. Criminal case number 1. A pervert amid the bouncy fleas. Flea Bounce, as the name suggests, consists of bouncing of fleas with your poggos. Your score goes up with each successful hit, and the game ends if you fall to the floor. The host of this minigame is Krat, and he is our first cheater of the day. Every once in a while during the game, Krat jumps into the screen, giving you the chance to also bounce off him. But unlike the regular fleas, he's off to the side, making it harder to hit him compared to the rest. Now, while this is certainly cheating activity, it isn't as bad as what we'll see later in the video. First of all, while it adds a little bit more difficulty, it really isn't that bad, and depending on the timing, it can be an easy extra point. It can even be helpful, even if there's a cheating spirit behind the action. Secondly, when we look at the leaderboard for this minigame, we can see that Krat actually sucks ass at it, and has the lowest score out of any flea. So he isn't protecting that much, to be honest. And that connects nicely into why this is our least grave offender. Because the third point is that we can assume that Krat does this to all of the other participants, making the minigame even between the rest of the fleas and Hornet. And since realistically speaking, none of you is competing with Krat, since his score is so ass, it feels pretty fair. That of course is supposing that Krat does this bullshit to the rest too, because it is very probable that the only reason he does this is because he is a pervert and is attempting to look below Hornet's skirt while she jumps on the fleas. I bet he even gets turned on by Hornet actually stomping on him, such a little freak. I bet me saying these things would get him off. Criminal case number 2. Cheaters falling from the sky. Flea Juggle consists of juggling fleas. Shocker, I know. You have to hit each one 3 times before they fly away and give you a point. If you fail 3 times by letting a flea fall, the game is over. The host of this game is the Flea Master Mushka, and unlike Krat, he is actually innocent, and I love him. No, the criminals in this case are Varga and Grishkin. After a certain number of regular fleas, there is a chance for either Varga or Grishkin to fall from the sky, and you have to bounce them. But unlike the normal, perfect, adorable fleas, these fat asses work slightly differently, which leads to their first crime. They both have their own unique trajectory, which is slightly curved and wonkier compared to the regular fleas, throwing you off after you become accustomed to a regular flea juggling. But even worse than that, you have to hit both of them 4 times, instead of the usual 3, not only making it harder, but also making each attempt longer, especially since these guys come 1 at a time compared to the regular 3 of the normal fleas, which really adds up when you're trying to beat Seth's score for the first time. Oh my god, I spent 2 hours on this on the first time around. Their second crime is that once again, they are on the leaderboard. Varga is a little less egregious in this, since he has the second lowest score, only beating the pervert. But Grishkin is quite literally the champion of this minigame. You have to beat them through their cheating in order to complete the festival, which leads to their third crime. No one is actually impeding them, but Grishkin in particular, from becoming the champion. I guess they are an obstacle for each other, but one is certainly less than 2. Quite literally, it's basic math. While we have to deal with both of their bullshit, no one is going to act as their replacement whenever they try it. Certainly not Flea Master Mushka, he's honorable and would never do something like that. Grishkin sucks! But there is one flea who is even worse. Criminal case number 3. The Spear Thrower. The third minigame of the festival is Flea Dodge, and once again, it's in the name, you dodge fleas, what else could it be? For each flea that enters and leaves the screen, you get a point, and if for whatever reason you fall from the platforms and can't recover, you lose. I really like this one. I think it's cool that you can save yourself even after getting hit by a flea. It creates a super tense and dynamic gameplay. But this video isn't about the minigames, it's about the criminals that host them. And the worst of them all, by far, is Bog. This bitch is the ultimate cheater. Similar to our previous offenders, Vogue appears every once in a while to serve as an extra obstacle. But she's even worse than the rest, because she doesn't work like the regular fleas at all, which leads us to her first crime. She doesn't appear and fly from one side to the other like the rest, not even with a bit of variation like our other criminals do. No, Vogue does something completely different. Instead of dodging her, you have to dodge her spear. I've done this minigame many times, and I still have no idea what's the logic behind this throw. Like, at what moment does she decide to throw it? Sometimes she aims for where you were, sometimes she aims at where you're at, sometimes she aims at where you'll be, and sometimes it feels like she isn't aiming at all. Not only is this obstacle of hers inconsistent, but unlike the other cheaters of this video, I don't even have the pleasure of smacking her for her bullshit. Similar to our previous criminals, her second offense is that she is on the leaderboard. More specifically, she is the champion of this minigame, as the host. No other flea is in this position. Grishkin would serve as an obstacle while being the champion, but at least they weren't the ones hosting the game. Don't you think there's a bit of a conflict of interest here? Maybe Vox shouldn't be allowed to be the winner, or even participate, or even better, throw shit at you. She's literally protecting her crown from you by throwing spears. That is such bullshit. Which leads us to her third crime, which is similar to those of the previous nefarious individuals. But given the context, it's even worse. When Vogue became champion of her own minigame, no one was around to throw shit at her. At least when Grishkin became champion, they would have had to contend with Varga's bullshit, and Krat never became champion, not even close, so it doesn't matter as much that no one is being an obstacle to him in his attempt. Vogue became champion of Flea Dodge when she didn't have to deal with anyone else's bullshit. She is such a cheater. You have no idea how many times I've been at the verge of breaking either her or Seth's record, and out of nowhere she comes with her inconsistent stick and pushes me into another flea, which subsequently knocks me to the ground. That's it, Vogue. I don't care that you sell the pins for the missing fleas. From this day on, you're my sworn enemy. I lied when I said you couldn't smack her unlike the rest of the criminals of this video. Did you know that whenever she appears, you can actually parry her? Well, now you do, so do it every fucking time! It doesn't matter if it makes it harder to complete the minigame. She must receive some sort of punishment. I need her to face some kind of justice. She can't keep getting away with this. I'm making it my life mission to spread the word about the sins of Vogue, and if you made it this far, make her pay for it. We won't stand idle. Vogue, your days of evil and immorality are counted, and by the end of them, you'll find me by your side, and my company will not be kind. I'll laugh at your humiliation, and in your darkest hour, I'll make you suffer just like you made me suffer with your stupid fucking spear! So yeah, thanks for watching this shitpost, subscribe and all that. Okay everybody, have a nice day!